Fulham have been promoted to the Premier League. Again. Here's how they did it. It's a big congratulations to Fulham, who secure their third promotion in 5 seasons. Let the yo-yoing continue. Fulham back in the Premier League, just the 1 season down, and they've done it by Easter. Fulham found themselves back in the Championship after a bit of a limp relegation, it has to be said, from the Premier League. In the end, the season fizzled out, and Scott Parker, when it looked like they were getting close after that away win at Liverpool, not really able to take that final step. And in the end, as you can see by the table there, very limp. 28 points from 38 games. Burnley, 11 points clear. So Fulham come back to the Championship, but not with Scott Parker. He is going to leave the club and take over a fellow Championship parachute team in Bournemouth. It remains to be seen where Bournemouth are going to finish, but Parker may be getting promoted himself. Just keep your eyes on that over the next few weeks. I don't know, bit of a diggy ending, I think, with Parker, and a few comments directed at the higher-ups and how Fulham was run. Parker was replaced by Marco Silva, who was seen to be taking somewhat of a step down, having worked in the Premier League, I think, with Hull and with Watford and with Everton. And maybe Silva saw his way back up to the Premier League in taking the U1 parachute team like Fulham, who tend to be pretty dominant at Championship level. There wasn't actually too much in the way of arrivals and bolstering the squad that came down from the Premier League. The key signing you can see there is obviously Harry Wilson, who is known to the Championship. God, he's been here with Hull, he's been here with Darby, he's done the business before, Cardiff last season as well. And although some people didn't like the way the deal was structured, Wilson comes in and he's made a big difference. And I suppose it was more not losing players and not losing high quality names. There are the departures, and okay, maybe Anguissa would have done a job, but I assume his wages needed to come off the bill. And look, they've had absolutely plenty in the tank with the squad that came down, plus Harry Wilson. Silva and Fulham, frankly, just came out of the blocks, and they've been right up in the top 2 pretty much all season. It was 4 wins in the first 5 games, and you can see where we get to game 17 there. Bournemouth and Fulham really pushing forward, well over both of them, that 2 points per game. And just look at the teams there chasing: West Brom, Coventry, Stoke, QPR. I suppose QPR lasted the longest, but no one really has been able to keep pace with Fulham. Even though Bournemouth did lead at that point, it's just been the one tiny little slip for Fulham throughout the season. You can see up the top there from the 24th of November, 5 games without a victory, let Bournemouth sort of back in at that point above them. I suppose the mitigating factor was the Omicron spike and COVID and postponements and whatnot. But Fulham bounced back in utterly spectacular fashion. Look at those next 3 games from the 11th of January when things restart for Fulham. 7-0, 6-2, 6-2. 19 goals in 3 games. And from that point onwards, Fulham have been top. They've stayed top, and we knew then that this Fulham team will be remembered as just an absolute goal machine. Watch them play. Everybody forward. Fullbacks on the edge of the box. Centre-halves on halfway. Attack, 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 attack. And when you actually analyse it, that bad run ending 20th of December was followed up with 10 wins in 12 games. And pretty much then Fulham were off in the distance. The main man for Fulham, obviously, we've mentioned them being a goal machine, is the goal machine, the Serbian Alexander Mitrovic, who in that run broke the Championship goal-scoring record, of course. I will caveat that by saying it's from 2004-2005. And we understand that Guy Whittingham did score more goals than that for Portsmouth back in the day. Mitrovic still has a few games to see if he can get past that second-tier record. Post-Premier League again for those contrarians. And Mitrovic does really love to pull in his fair share of contrarians. So it's really lovely that I made a video discussing Mr. Mitrovic. So you can watch, click that link up there. And I will say no more other than another absolute cheat code of a goal machine season from the Serbian Hulk up top. And here is the table just a few games ago at the end of that run of 10 wins in 12 games. And let's be fair, it was all done bar the shouting there. After playing 35 games, Fulham were 14 points clear of Bournemouth and, more importantly, Huddersfield in third place, who they also had a game in hand on. It was just a matter of getting over the line. Those people who do like to point fun at Fulham say they're too good for the Championship and they're not good enough for the Premier League. And unfortunately for Fulham fans, there's not much of an argument back at that with relegations the last 2 times. Now, I've said on this channel many times, I would quite like Marco Silva to go up, and not in exactly the same way he's doing in the Championship, because that won't end well, but try and keep at least similar philosophy and actually attack. And you may get a couple of hide-ins, but you probably win more games than sitting in there and trying to hang in there and draw your way to survival like we do see some teams do in the Premier League. Looking at the 11th, they're going to need players. Ruddock, I don't know. Few questions after that game at Coventry. Odoi has obviously gone. By the way, this is the most used formations here. Odoi has gone, but Nako Williams, I wonder if they can get him next season at right back from Liverpool or on loan. Adrabia, I think, will get a go. Ream, can he do it in the Premier League? Let me know in the comments. Robinson, I think, will get a go. Seri, I think, is probably good enough. Harrison Reed will likely get a go, but they might strengthen central midfield. Carvalho has already gone. Cabano, I don't know. And then the 2 big names that have done all the damage this season, Wilson and Mitrovic, are going to have to step up. I personally, and I've covered it in that video I made, I personally think that the sort of state of Mitrovic's Premier League performances are exaggerated. I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as some people like to make out, but he needs to be in sort of double figures. He needs to be somewhere near that 18-19 tally where he scored the, I think, 11 goals during a relegation season. And Harry Wilson really now needs to make the step up. Speaking to Bournemouth fans, they sort of felt that he didn't quite do it. Good on some set plays at the top level, but just didn't have the influence he did in the Championship. So I suspect, I would imagine we'll see 4 or 5 signings in. They need to be signings that improve the first team. I would like to see Marco Silva at least maintain, I don't know, 60% of the attacking intent that they've shown in the Championship, because I have to say, and a lot of people will come back and say, yes, they had Mitrovic, yes, they got the parachute money, fine. That's not their fault, of course. It helps a lot. But they've really gone for it, and they've been well and truly the best team in the Championship by a distance. So it's congratulations to Fulham. Well done on another promotion. I know we'll get a lot of comments on this video about the broken financial system and money distribution in the Championship. I get it. I want to focus on the football. I agree it's broken. I also think that's not Fulham's fault. Yes, they're the right side of the system, but they have been the best team this season. They may have the best players and the most TV income, but they've been a joy to watch, and they've got the job done very, very handily. Please hit the like button and get involved in the comments. Firstly, how do you think Fulham will do next season? Get that down in the comments. And secondly, if you don't think their team's good enough to survive, and your answer to the first question is they're going to get relegated, Ben, let me know what they need, how many players, which players, where, who, in order to give it a really good go, a better go than the last 2 times in the Premier League where they have, sadly, been relegated. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Congratulations again to Fulham. It's a lovely big over and out from me.